Thanks, guys, for coming on planning time. I know how difficult it is. We're going to look at some data, and it's kind of a compilation of what we've been doing this last few weeks since we met. Let's talk a little bit about, guys, remember our norms? They're right here, so those are our team norms. And Pam, would you mind taking notes for us?
No, that'd be great.
And then George, will you keep us on time?
Yes, I will.
I appreciate that. We don't want to miss next period. I see that we've looked at the absences for current year and last year, and then the trend over the last 2 years. I don't know what you see, but I see an awful lot of red saying we're having some issues with attendance.
I agree, and one of the problems that I'm looking at with the attendance is that it is impacting their overall scores.
Exactly.
So what I think we need to do is really focus on what's happening with the attendance.
I agree. I agree, because it's over 50% of this group of kids.
So, yeah, so it's something we're going to need to address with the whole entire team, not just the ones who are having poor attendance, if it's that many students, right?
Yeah, there's a trend, or maybe a grade level trend. I don't know.
Well,
Something's
you know, 7th grade.
I know. I know.
Right? You know, right here I have behavior data, and
good.
Some of those same students may be out because of behavior issues.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you have that.
Yeah, without going into it in detail, this is a large caption for the whole group. We might want to revisit that in our next meeting, so we have real specific individual data, like maybe do a correlation between these students who are absent and referrals, and see who comes up the same, because that could be a cause and effect type of thing, you know, for some of that.
You think we could get the administrator responsible, the dean, for example, to sit in on a meeting and sort of highlight some of the things that he is seeing as creating problems? Because maybe we can find out school-wide what's going on and come up with some interventions for that.
I think that's a great idea.
Great idea. I'll put it in the notes that next week when we meet, I'll invite him as well, if that works for you.
Exactly. Let's look at the intervention we've been working on. It looks pretty successful here.
Well, I'd say that the interventions are working. We reduced it down to just 2 students who are really having consistent issues.
Right.
I'd like to find out what's going on with those 2 students.
Right, and this was that one reading intervention that we started about a month ago.
Yes.
And now, when I did the percentage on this, you could actually tell that it's about 75% successful.
Yes.
So technically, if we're using our 80% rule, though, it's not quite, you know, where it needs to be. But but we don't have a lot of students in that either.
And it looks like even though they're in the, so to speak, in the red, they are increasing.
Yeah,
for each piece of data they're gathering, they are increasing. So they must have started substantially below the others. So
yeah, they did, but this makes them feel good too, that they're not so far away from their target.
Absolutely,
you know, at the beginning.
Absolutely.
Great.
This looks good.
Do you know if, as part of the intervention, the teachers are actually meeting with these students to give them an attaboy, job well done?
Oh yeah, I think we rolled that in as part of the behavior part of this intervention.
Very good.
We wanted a motivational piece because we knew some of these kids were so far behind that that was part of the issue. I think really that's why it's being so successful.
Okay.
Is because of that. That's an excellent point. You know what? As part of our intervention review, I'll just say that we're going to bring an administrator on board and help roll that into part of it. You know, if we do that, we need to do a change line, because we actually are
changing the intervention.
Yep. But I think, you know, we have a lot of progress monitoring data already, so I think it's a good time to do that change.
Yes.
You guys
got several data points.
Yep. Okay, great. So this counts as one of our progress monitoring points, or evaluation, basically, that we're going through, and we'll just continue on.
Exactly, and I would hope that we need to check to see if these 2 students that are in the red have anything to do with the attendance piece too.
Very good.
That will be a good cross-reference.
Because you never know that if they're not there, it's hard to
That's right.
They
were there for all the progress monitoring points, but that doesn't mean they were there for the whole intervention.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
Okay,
that might be something we need to look at.
Okay.